A middle-aged woman named Leonora was out for her usual morning jog. Unbeknownst to her, her husband, Christian, was hiding nearby, waiting for her to pass along her regular route. As soon as he saw her, Christian accelerated the van and ran her over. Later on, the police officer handling the case confided in his daughter, telling her the full story. He revealed that the husband was never punished for the crime. A few days earlier, Christian received a text message at 4 in the morning. This made Leonora suspicious, so she asked to see his phone. Christian refused to let her look, saying the message was just from his friend Peter. But Leonora didn't believe him and tried to snatch the phone from his hands. Frustrated, Christian threw the phone at the wall, shattering it. The next morning, Leonora apologized for the argument. She offered to get his phone repaired, but Christian said no, claiming he would just buy a new one. Christian was an engineer and co-founder of a successful construction firm along with his friend Peter. Leonora used to be a well-known musician, but she had to give up her career when their son, Johann, became seriously ill. Christian later met with Xenia, an employee he had been secretly involved with. He found out that the 4 a.m. message was from her. She had given him an ultimatum to divorce his wife. They had been having an affair for 6 months, and Xenia was running out of patience. Meanwhile, Leonora checked Christian's social media account. She saw a photo of him with Xenia, which made her even more curious. She looked further and found more pictures that clearly hinted at a secret relationship. When Christian came home, Leonora tried to get close to him, but he was cold and distant, leaving her even more upset. Later, she went with Christian to their company's party. During his speech, Christian thanked the staff and made a special mention of Xenia. He even asked her to come up and speak. Leonora watched with a forced smile, clearly unhappy. Later that night, Leonora looked for Christian and caught him with Xenia in Peter's office, in the middle of an affair. Xenia saw Leonora but didn't flinch. She just smiled and ignored her. On their way home, Leonora was silent. Though visibly upset, she chose not to bring it up. When Christian asked her what was wrong, she simply replied that she was tired. The next day, Christian met with his friend Carl to help prepare their midsummer bonfire. Carl, who had also gone through a divorce after cheating, already knew about Christian's affair. Christian asked how Carl told his wife, and Carl advised him to just be honest and do it quickly. He shared how relieved he felt after finally coming clean. That evening, Christian went home ready to talk, but Leonora beat him to it. She asked if he was cheating. Christian denied it, but Leonora said she saw him with Xenia the night before. Christian was about to end things with her, but she reminded him of the financial fraud he had committed years ago. She said if he went down, she would be dragged into it too, unless she went to the police first. Leonora said she gave up her dream to raise their son, and if he left her, she'd have nothing. To stop him from leaving, she threatened to expose his crime. Christian felt cornered and didn't know how to respond. Back at the work site, Xenia asked him for an update. Christian lied, saying he had already told Leonora and that she agreed to the divorce. Xenia was thrilled and invited him to meet her mother, who was visiting that day. Christian later spoke to Carl again, explaining his situation. Carl suggested finding someone close to Leonora who might help convince her to separate. But Christian couldn't think of anyone. Leonora had devoted the past 18 years to raising their child and had grown distant from old friends. Christian eventually remembered her former best friend. He drove to town to see her, unaware that Leonora was following him. He met Cassandra, who admitted she hadn't talked to Leonora in years. Christian told her he wanted a divorce. Cassandra warned him that leaving Leonora wouldn't be easy. She brought up Leonora's ex-boyfriend, Mike, who had died after falling off a cliff. He had been planning to leave Leonora for another woman, and people suspected she had pushed him. That other woman was Sonia. Christian called Sonia to ask what happened. She said she and Mike were having a secret relationship in the woods when she felt someone watching them. Then she heard Mike scream, and when she looked, he was already dead at the bottom of the cliff. Sonia always believed Leonora had something to do with it, but the police cleared her after confirming her alibi. While on the phone, Christian didn't realize that Leonora was standing behind him, listening. Later, Christian visited Xenia and met her parents. From a distance, Leonora watched with a heavy heart. That night, Leonora told Christian to leave. Afraid she would turn him in, Christian hesitated. Leonora said he could stay, but only if he ended things with Xenia. She demanded he call her right then and there and break up. Christian couldn't do it. He said he loved her. Furious, Leonora kicked him out. Christian didn't resist. He just walked away. That afternoon, Christian went to the office and took a company van. He parked along Leonora's jogging route and waited. When he saw her, he hit the gas and ran her over. When he noticed she was still moving, he backed up and hit her again. He quickly returned to the office and made sure his coworkers saw him, crafting an alibi. When he got home, Johann asked if he had seen his mom. Christian couldn't answer and instead cried in the shower. Later, Leonora came home unharmed. Christian was in shock. Leonora casually asked if he had ended things with Xenia. He said yes. That's when he learned that Leonora had taken a different route that day. He realized he had hit someone else. That night, Leonora tried to be intimate again, but Christian still wasn't interested. She got frustrated, and he asked for more time. The next day, Leonora read about a hit-and-run involving a woman on her usual jogging path. At Johann's graduation party, the police visited to ask neighbors if they had seen anything. Christian told them he had been working late and saw nothing. Later that day, he returned to the scene. His heart broke when he discovered the victim was a mother. He went to the police, ready to confess, but after seeing a message from Johann, he changed his mind. He saw on the news that a white van had been spotted at the scene. At the car wash, Leonora discovered that her prepaid card had been used on the night of the accident. She checked the surveillance footage and saw Christian washing the van that same night. She went home and showed him the footage. She concluded that he meant to kill her, but got someone else instead. Frightened, Leonora fled the house in her car. Later that day, Christian received a message from her, asking him to meet for dinner. At a fancy restaurant, Leonora gave him a chilling demand: he must kill Xenia, or she would report him. She promised to back him up with an alibi, saying they were together the entire night. She also confessed she was the one who killed Mike, her ex. She made the perfect cover by playing a violin recording and returning to her teacher just in time to be seen practicing. Christian agreed to the plan, and the two of them checked in at a resort. That night, he quietly slipped out and went to Xenia's house, but instead of following through, he spent the night with her. Back at the resort, Leonora prepared the alibi. She played a recording of Christian's voice when the waiter entered. She also used his phone to send Xenia a breakup text. But hours passed, and Christian still hadn't returned. At Xenia's house, after being together, Xenia went to the bathroom, only to find Leonora behind her. Without a sound, Leonora stabbed her. When Christian walked in, he found Leonora covered in blood, standing over Xenia's lifeless body. The next day, police responded to a report of a break-in at Xenia's house, but she was nowhere to be found. Upon learning about her affair with Christian, the police questioned him. He admitted the relationship but said it had ended. He denied knowing anything about her disappearance. Leonora backed his story, and their alibis lined up. Although the officer remained skeptical, they had no solid proof. A full search for Xenia's body turned up nothing. Later, as Christian and his family celebrated midsummer, he lit the bonfire, quietly burning the last piece of evidence, Xenia's body.